Sprint, brought to you by Stop and Go.
6:50, time for the morning sprint. We may be close to the end of April, but Josh Spreiter is talking about a lingering flu season.
And Hattie says it'll be cooler today than yesterday, but with plenty of sunshine. And that's welcome news for folks along the Wisconsin River who are still concerned about flooding. Some people in Columbia County are still out of their homes as the DNR continues to monitor an unstable levee near Portage. About 30 households along an 8-mile stretch of Levee Road had to be evacuated after a small breach was found. The river is expected to drop below major flood stages tonight.
The state highway that cuts across that river and through Portage is back open this morning after part of it was shut down. Water was covering 33 just as you head into the downtown area overnight, closing the section between Pierce Street and Cass Street. That was cleared up right around 12:30 this morning.
The city of Madison is working on a plan to keep last summer's flooding from ever happening again. The engineering division in the city is starting a series of meetings with the public to talk about the ins and outs of last year's flooding. Last night, they met with people in the Strickers-Mendota watershed, where they are still seeing signs of last August to this day. Up next, the city will launch a study to determine whether a change in city infrastructure or drainage patterns is needed.
And good news, no more rain in the forecast today. The rain has moved out. Clouds linger, though, for southern Wisconsin this morning. We'll see a clearing trend taking place through the morning with temperatures climbing through the 50s, back into the mid-60s this afternoon. Still dealing with a north wind, though, around 10 to 15 miles per hour.
Thank you very much, Hattie. New overnight, Sri Lanka's Minister of Defense says the deadly bombings on Easter Sunday were in retaliation to last month's shootings in New Zealand at the mosques there. There are more than 300 people who are now confirmed dead in those bombings, which were carried out simultaneously at churches and hotels. Burials for those victims do start today. 4 Americans were killed, including a graduate of UW-Madison who was in Sri Lanka on a business trip. We have more on that over on channel3000.com.
Boeing is the subject of a new round of concerns, and this time they have nothing to do with the grounded 737 MAX 8s. The Federal Aviation Administration has received nearly a dozen whistleblower complaints with the 787 Dreamliner. That's Boeing's flagship airline. United Airlines flies 86 of them alone. Those complaints, received as recently as 2017, bring up manufacturing issues at Boeing's plant in South Carolina. Things like tools being left behind in new planes and pressure for workers to prioritize speed over safety.
The Supreme Court will hear arguments today about whether the Trump administration should be able to include citizenship as a question on the 2020 census. The Justice Department says asking whether the person filling out the census form is a citizen is needed to enforce civil rights laws. But opponents say the move would discourage immigrants from responding and could lead to skewed data.
Tens of millions of Americans will not be able to receive all of their Social Security benefits when they retire if Congress doesn't act soon. That's according to a new annual report that says the program's trust funds could be out of money by 2035. At that point, checks would still go out, but the program would only have enough revenue to pay about 3/4 of promised benefits through the year 2093. Social Security is expected to cost the government more money than it brings in by the year 2020.
Back in Madison, the school superintendent, Jennifer Cheatham, says sexual violence will not be tolerated in schools. That is in response to criticism from parents and staff over the district's response to a reported sexual assault on the grounds of East High School. More than 70 staff members released a letter Friday night asking for decisive action to be taken. Superintendent Cheatham says she appreciates the letter and understands their criticisms and is open to mandatory sexual assault training for all staff as a result of the incident.
Meanwhile, the district says it wants to create more opportunities for community engagement and feedback. So, school board members are taking their board meetings on the road. Starting on Monday, the board will be meeting at different schools in the district over the next few months, instead of their normal meeting place inside the district's Doyle Administration Building. The first of those meetings is Monday at 5:15 at Chavez Elementary.
Compared to normal. While the flu season is running late and running long this year, health experts at St. Mary's Hospital tell me they've only seen about 1/3 of the cases so far compared to last year and only half as many as the year before in Madison. They expect the flu to be sticking around for the next few weeks. So if you haven't done so yet, officials still encourage you to get the flu shot for your family and remember to wash your hands often.
Thank you very much, Josh. The Bucks are headed to round 2 of the NBA playoffs after sweeping the Detroit Pistons in the first round. Giannis Antetokounmpo dominated again in Game 4 last night with 41 points and 4 blocked shots. It is the team's first playoff series win since 2001. Up next, though, the Boston Celtics, who knocked out the Bucks in the last playoff series last year. No word yet on when that game will be.
We will find out later today who the lucky winner of the $768 million jackpot is. The Wisconsin Lottery is making that announcement at noon today. Wisconsin law says the winner cannot remain anonymous. We'll have more on that announcement coming up later today on News 3 Now.
The rain and storms last night did push back a significant change to traffic on Verona Road to tonight. Now, delays are expected on Verona Road starting Wednesday morning when southbound traffic shifts onto new interchange ramps from Williamsburg Way to McKee Road. The Verona Road and Williamsburg Way intersection will also partially close starting Wednesday morning. Only right turns in and out of that intersection will be allowed as crews build a bridge there. That's not expected. That's expected, that is, to last until sometime in July.
6:56 now. Let's turn it over to Josh Tim with a look at your first alert traffic. Hey, Josh.
Yeah, good morning. The usual crowd starting to show up on the westbound side of the Beltline. A few brake lights between Stoughton Road and West Broadway. It's going to add a couple minutes to your drive. Inbound John Nolan beginning to slow down near the Olin Avenue and North Shore Drive intersections heading into downtown. And other main routes coming into Madison still moving at posted speeds with no major issues. For your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thanks, Josh.
And it is a cloudy start to this Tuesday morning. Take a live look from the WIC-TV Skycam. We have cloudy skies here in Madison and all around southern Wisconsin. Our forecast today, though, calls for those clouds to clear out through the morning, giving way to lots of sunshine for the afternoon. Temperatures should climb back into the mid-60s as well. There will be a north wind, making it feel a little bit cooler, especially than yesterday. Here's a look at our extended forecast. We have temperatures climbing to around 70 on Wednesday with sunshine, a little bit more unsettled as we head into the upcoming weekend. It will be cooler as well with those rain chances, highs in the 50s.
Overall, not too shabby at all.
Not at all.
Yeah. Thank you,
looking
Hattie.
pretty good today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Hattie. Be sure to tune in to CBS this morning. They will have the very latest from Sri Lanka after those bombings. Today is a national day of mourning in that country. And again, we have more on the UW-Madison graduate who died in those bombings over on channel3000.com. Have a great one. Enjoy the sunshine. We'll see you tomorrow.